Rust. Jesus Christ, that might be the most generic opening to a Rust video. Let's try this again. Rust. That's better. The true survival game. Love it or hate it, it's fair to say that Rust might be just the most realistic survival simulator out there when it comes to interactions with other people. Someone's screaming. Ever thought about what your life would be like in the event of some mega calamity that destroys society as we know it? Just play Rust for a few hours and you'll never have to ask yourself that theoretical question ever again. Guys, leave it out, leave it out. So with Rust arguably being one of the hardest survival games out there, it makes sense that there's an abundance of challenge videos. Hemp farming only, survival in a single square. These videos are endless in their concept, but in my humble opinion, not hardcore enough. So I dared to ask the question, can you play Rust without dying? Now don't laugh. This ain't no joke. The idea of losing everything you've ever worked towards sounds daunting, and I guess that's why no one has ever tried to attempt it thus far. Until now. Cue my dramatic challenge music. Can you survive in Rust with 0 deaths? A few rules. Rule number 1. It must be a vanilla server. No mods. Rule number 2. It must have more than 100 people on it at peak times. No dead servers, man. And the final rule. No matter the circumstances, if you die, you quit. 0 deaths. Now, I'll be playing this challenge with my main homie, Grizzly Chameleon, as I do.
Oh my god.
And it's been over a month now since the glove has been thrown down. Early runs being what you would expect. Oh my god. Why? But it wasn't long until we hit our stride. Meeting up would always be the main priority. After all, 2 spears is always better than 1. Yo, Izioka's failed like 5 times. Attempts at eco-raiding would always turn out to be a massive waste of time. Nah. Boats offer nice escapes from the main rat race until it's time to come ashore.
Is he at the front door?
Yeah, he's at the front door. If there's one thing these early attempts taught us, you can never let your guard down. Someone's coming! Crafting a base would always require some windows for keeping an eye on the surroundings. And last but not least, we found out that the outpost needed to be within reach, as this would be our safety from home to recycle in peace and gamble. Hey! Have I mentioned I have a massive Rust gambling problem? 5! Most times this does indeed turn out to be a problem. But not on this particular run. I think I might retire for a little bit, stretch my legs. And after pulling in a modest amount of scrap, it was time to buy a revolver. From here we'll grab some nades to recycle. From this we'll get gunpowder and metal. These 2 ingredients would help us craft some light bullets. Just making players, don't worry about it. This was the run after many failed attempts. It was time to snowball. He's dead. Don't say that. Yeah, thanks. Keep your grub, you filthy animal. Yo, someone's in front of us. And just like that, the run was over. A modest 3 hours and 25 minutes. Although I couldn't cement this run as a victory, its foundations had been set, and we now had a solid formula for what went a little like this for future attempts. It would be another full week until we finally had the courage to spawn naked on a beach with a rock once again. A great spawn. Grizzlies spawn near harbour.
Yo, bro, I spawned at D7 at the harbour.
I spawned near the abandoned cabins. With this, we could grab what we could and meet in the middle. The outpost. Great spawn, like I said. But while making my way over, it was made apparent that I would starve to death before ever getting the chance to meet up with Grizz. Oh no, I've got 3 health in the outpost. Knocking on death's door, desperation soon set in when the Rust gods had thrown me a lifeline. Can I have some food, please? With this fool's wood now sitting soundly in my inventory, he would have to strike a trade that would save my life if he ever wanted that wood back. Give me some food. He gave me some food. Thank you, brother. You can have your wood back. Moments later, Grizzly would show up.
Oh, my God.
Let the gambling begin. Nah.
Nah, I hate this.
Let's get out of here. Thankfully, Grizz had some change to spend on some food that we so desperately needed. Now, with it being Christmas time, every now and then, the Rust would randomly spawn some gifts for us. Large present. I've got a snowball gun. What? Selling and scrapping random oddities was enough to swag me up. And completing this fool's quest would grant me a hatchet. Okay, sweet. It was time to think about getting a home up. Okay. I'm thinking abandoned cabins. This was only a short ways away from the outpost. It had great access to fresh water that we could use to grow our own food, and the cabins that would spawn crates we could farm for scrap. So we set sail. Let me try this.
Nah, I didn't shoot that. Oh, it does!
After a brief communication error...
Shall I have it actually in the water?
In the water, please. A base was scuffed. Oh no.
I need the water.
I didn't think you were going to put it where the floor's in the water.
Mate, I told you!
But in the process, the swamp boys were born.
This is our home.
We're little swamp people now. A few minutes of fixing this minor error, and we had a base fit for swamp people. Okay.
Boys.
Now, it wasn't long before we had our first visitors. Artillery strike on him. And as previously mentioned, windows would be mandatory if we planned on staying alive. We would adopt a meerkat lifestyle. Things are looking good, you know. Having a great view of our surroundings would come in very handy. Look, is he naked? What are you doing in our swamp? As dangerous to our life as it was, we needed to venture out in the hopes to find some major gains and kill some nakeds. What are you doing on this hill? What? Say that again. The gas station was only a short ways away from our cabins. This could be the end of Ironman Swamp Boy. But it soon became clear it was too risky for us to hang out there too often. Run southwest! We need to get to Outpost quick. Never once to pass up a good time, we're headed for Outpost once more for our routine gambling session. I'm all in. That's free. Yeah! Now let's get home. Rust has this terrible way of leading you into a false sense of security. If things seem too serene, it's because the grubs are there in the bushes, scheming and planning.
Привет, это я, привет.
Yeah! We need to go now! They found us! They're after our swamp, we have to defend it with our lives!
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting bowed up!
Oh, take him! A close call. It would be the first of many. With a level 1 placed and our first of many hours survived, it was time to call it a day. We logged off here in our terrible wooden swamp tower in the vain hopes it would still be standing when we logged back on. Christmas sister. Look at that. I got some coal. Nah. So when Grizzly finally got on, it turns out our neighbours were online. It was this base from the day before. All we had to do was door camp them. He's out.
Come up.
He's out.
I hit him once.
Hit him. He's on the floor.
He's got nothing on him.
You think I'm retarded?
This would normally be the point of the story where I tell you to remember this name, as it will be very important to our story later on. But in all honesty, these guys were jokers and offered us nothing but entertainment.
Shoot him down, man.
I don't shoot people here. Oh no! He's bloody killed him. So for the rest of the day, we spent it near our swamp, farming what we could and waiting for night to fall so we could do a recycle run. Now, to be completely transparent, we did spend most of our early days waiting for the cover of darkness so we could go about our business. And by business, I mean gamble our way to riches.
I
It did, I heard it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going home with some gear, bro. Let's go.
Now, with the scrap that we earned, we used it to pay our way into the food sustainability market. Buying planters and solar panels will help set us up for the future. And after a couple lucky finds, oh, big medkit.
We need that. We need to recycle it. Get the syringe.
Oh, syringe. It's rigged. It was time to start work on making this tower into a fully functioning, self-sustaining, off-the-grid swamp home. But not before betraying some peasants. I'm friendly, bro. Yo, we should shoot him. 3, 2, 1. Yo, I'm gonna go out there. Keep shooting him.
He's running to the right, building to the right. He's behind it.
I killed him. The poor little kid. We bullied him. Due to the server being quite busy, I thought it was just 2 that lived there, but I was watching for it. Okay, never mind. The base upgrades would have to be put on hold, because over the next hour or so, a never-ending amount of action would keep us from wanting to do anything too risque. So yet again, we called it a day. We logged off and came back a couple of hours later, only to find the server was just as chaotic as it was before. Why are there so many nakeds outside, man? Oh no! Regardless, we had to start working on the extension. Farming stone and wood was terrifying but necessary.
Oh my god, your name tag never showed up.
That's me.
Holy I had a heart attack.
A few minutes later, the cultivation room was complete, and after researching a few electrical stuffs, it was go time. We have light! That's an achievement, 0 deaths. Come on. With food and water now available from the comfort of our own home, technically we could now survive for as long as we wanted, but we still wanted to play Rust. So the show's not over yet. We both agreed that the challenge couldn't be complete until we survived long enough to see all that Rust had to offer. The next few days continued the way the previous days had done, farming what we could around our swamp and waiting until night time to make the scary journey to Outpost. Not always as eventless as we would hope. Now it was time to level up, so with what scrap we earned, we would buy some Thompsons, and using the same nade trick again with recycling, we would craft some more light bullets. Scary moments came and went. Bro, I swear they just... Someone's outside our base. The farm produced valuable hemp that we could trade for scrap at the outpost. More Meerkat Simulator, more outpost trades.
This game's so realistic. When you go to the town, you actually have beggars. Give scrap.
The surviving was going well, and the scrap was rolling in. We bought a handful of SARS and researched it, and we also bought an explosive ammo for the future, because we wanted to raid people. Now it's around this time that we really started to branch out further from the safety of our swamp area. Yeah, it's our swamp. Mainly for the fact that we needed to farm large amounts of sulfur that just didn't spawn around the safety of our home. Roaming for ores went off without a hitch. Kill him. We built a little bit more storage and furnaces in our base. We used some of the sulfur to buy a level 2, and we even got brave enough to go over and counter a raid that we could hear from our swamp. Another day survived, we logged off. At this point we can only assume how long we've survived, with only 2 milestones left until we can call it quits. Would we survive the night? Will our Ironman hardcore challenge see the light of day? Long story short, yes, we log back in, we farm more sulfur, we make our way over to Outpost.
Oh god, that was scary.
Someone's got a sword? Someone's fighting that bear with a sword? Oh no, what? We buy a tier 3, research explosive ammo, place down a tier 3, level 3, bruh! Kill many nakeds. Don't you f***ing run, mate! Yeah, I got him!
Go f***ing kill yourself, you rat.
Crank some jams.
Yeah, this is a jam.
Craft as many explosive bullets as we can and search for a raid victim. Now this is where we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. The original goalpost was to raid our neighbours, but with them being freshly raided the day before, it left us at kind of a loss. They always seemed to be active, so the thought of doing an online raid would have brought our challenge to a satisfying end. But unfortunately, we have been on this server for a good 4 to 5 days now, and up until this point, it had held over 150 people on average, but with this final day, only 60 people remained. It's a great way to show off our hardcore Rust surviving potential, but this made it increasingly hard to find a base that would be able to online raid until... Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our online raid!
Oh, look.
Bro, what is this?
It's got some tween roof.
Merry Christmas! You filthy animal. Christmas is cancelled. Now, I would like to tell you that this foreman showed up to fight it out. I would like to say that. But the depressing truth is, I think they all raged and logged off. After this, we felt a little bit lost. We did a few more raids that didn't amount to much. Guy in a hazmat? We gave away our swamp house. Oh, hello there, fellow traveller. Because after all, we still needed to die. We had to see our survival time to complete the challenge. If I do say so myself, I think we cleared this challenge by a mile. And that was it. We headed out on our final suicide walk. We found a few people. Is that you at the recycle? I don't think it is. And had a few fun times. Mate. But unfortunately, we died in the most anticlimactic way there is. Shot in the back by an AK. So that's it. It turns out we survived for just under 24 hours. I was hoping for the 24-hour mark, but you know what? Regardless of the situation, playing Rust from start to finish and seeing all the game has to offer, all the way up until online raiding without a single death, that's a challenge complete. We came, we saw, we conquered. But also the fact remains I didn't survive for 24 hours playtime. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Maybe I'll have to try again. In the future, in the very, very distant future, because God, Jesus, this took a very long time. I thank thee all for watching, making this video, from getting all the footage, editing, taking me a serious amount of hours, as they always do, because Rust really do be like that. So if you do want more Rust videos, I need you to spam this video with likes and comments to get the YouTube algorithm flowing. Big thanks to these two homies who support the channel as always, and if you need some more Rust videos, I got these two bad boys right here that you can go and show some love. I'm Monkeymaycry, this has been Monkeymaycrytv, blah de blah de blah, stuff, tangs. Until next time, peace!